All right, fantastic. Good morning and welcome. And yes, very sorry about the mix up yesterday. Accidentally, we sent out a wrong link. So I'm glad that today everything worked perfectly and that you are here with me live for Coffee with Marcus. Today is September 13th. It is a wonderful Wednesday. And today it's going to be an exciting morning. And in a moment, you'll see exactly why. But let's see who here is in this webinar and wants to make money with trading. Type in a yes in the chat box. Oh, yeah, good. Who here wants to make so much money with trading so that you can travel the world and live the lifestyle you always dreamed about? Type in a yes if that's what you want. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now let's see how many of you want to get as much as possible out of our time together today. Oh, yes, I want that for you because for most of you here with us today, this is going to be a long-term relationship between us. I promise you that because once I show you how simple this is, once I show you an easy way to trade, once you realize that this actually works, once you realize that you can do this too, you'll want to hang out with me for a lifetime. I promise you that. So here's what we are going to do today. Today, we will talk about the difference between stocks and options and what exactly should you trade. Is it possible to make more money with stocks or is it possible to make more money with options? And of course, we will look at the markets live. Now, before we get started, just very briefly, a little bit of housekeeping because we have something exciting new that I want to share with you. You see, if you have any questions at any time, you can just go to rockwelltrading.com/askmarcus. And right now you see this link in the chat. What this does, it brings you to this cool little app. It works on your phone, it works on your iPad, and of course, it works on your computer. This is where you can type in your question and you see there will be a few other questions that you can vote on. So if somebody asks a question where you say, oh, you know what, this would be a good one. I'm interested in that one too. You can just click on this and vote it up. And so I'm going to take back the vote right now. And what we want to do here is I just will answer the questions here in order of most popular. So the questions that you vote that are the most important, or the questions that you ask, these are the ones that we will answer. And you see, so probably tomorrow we're going to tackle, I'm new to trading, what's the best way to get started? But I promised Thomas and a few others here that today we're going to tackle which one makes you more money, a stock or an option. So that's what we're going to do. And again, you can pull this up at any time. So maybe save a shortcut on your phone. rockwelltrading.com/askmarcus. If at any time throughout the day a question pops up, simply type it in there. It'll pop up here. Now, a few things that I will delete a little bit later is, yes, yesterday, two people asked, where were you for Coffee with Marcus? And I said, we accidentally sent out the wrong link. So sorry, Alvin also. So I will delete these two. But then if there's any others, have not received the link to the webinar. Okay, we'll take care of this. But let's focus on trading related questions. This is not the support inbox, right? I mean, this is here for you, for Coffee with Marcus, to answer your questions. All right, let's take a brief look at the markets here and see what is going on. Right now, the three major indices are slightly down here this morning. The S&P is slightly down 0.2%, the Nasdaq a little bit more, almost 0.25%, and the Dow down 21 points or 0.1%. So not a whole lot going on. It looks like it will be a pretty uneventful opening. Now, crude oil here is up almost 1% this morning because there are rumors that the OPEC will maintain its production cuts, and this is what's driving up the crude oil prices here this morning. So we'll see how this develops. Gold slightly up from yesterday's close, so are the bonds, so pretty much very uneventful. Now, one chart I want to pull up before we talk about stocks versus options, and that is Apple. Who here heard that yesterday Apple made the announcement and say we have a new iPhone and it's called the iPhone X? Who has heard this announcement yesterday? Absolutely good. Now, what do you think? What do you think the stock will do if Apple announces an exciting new iPhone, it announces a new iWatch, it announces an Apple TV? So there's a whole lot going on. So what do you think? It should go up, right? So this is where people say it should go up. Well, let me show you what Apple did yesterday. Look at this. It went down. How is that possible? How is that possible? Why is Apple down on this announcement? Well, I see here in the chat that a few said, well, it's too expensive. And you see, this is where some analysts said, oh my gosh, is Apple pricing themselves out of the market? They say the new iPhone, yeah, it's nice. There are some nice new features. It is not as revolutionary as Apple says it would be. At least that's what the analysts say. And they say, you know what, with a price point of $1,000 for the cheapest version. I mean, the version that I'm interested in is probably $1,200, right? Because I like a lot of memory here. But this is why the stock here went down. Also, yeah, Sri said it. The delivery is delayed. So this is why we do not want to trade the news. If you trade the news, this is what happens. And this is why I always say, trade what you see, not what you think, right? And this is exactly what we are doing here. This is why we use PowerX Analyzer. This is why we are using these charts with the indicators that show us very easily when to buy and when to sell here. Okay. All right. Now let's dive in and let's talk about what makes you more money, a stock or an options. And I want to bring up PowerX Analyzer. So this morning when I ran the scanner, for me with my settings, two stocks came up that caught my attention. CYOU and HBM. Let's talk about CYOU first. So, and I want to write a few things down because I do believe that this will be very valuable for you. Okay, what's better, trading stocks or options? Okay, so first of all, let's take a look at CYOU. If we would trade the stock, okay, so the CYOU stock. So here are the parameters. It says buy to open at 41.09. Okay, so our buy signal here this morning is buy at 41.09. Now, if you were to buy 100 shares of CYOU at 41.09, how much money would you have to bring to the table? $4,109, right? So this is the capital that you need. Exactly, Kevin. Absolutely, you're right. So now we place the stop loss. So the stop loss here is supposed to be $1.13. $1.13, meaning based on 100 shares, it's $113 that we are risking here. Okay. So also we're looking at the profit target. And the profit target, and this is what you see here, right? So that's the profit target, that is the stop loss. So the profit target here is $5, meaning that we are trying to make $500. Now, let's see, how does this stack up in terms of percentages based on the capital that we have to invest? So let me bring up a handy calculator here really quick. So $113 divided by 4109. So this means that our stop loss is 0.2, let's say 0.28, let's say 0.3. Okay, so here, no, it's 275, so it's okay. 2.75% is our stop loss, okay? So if the trade goes in our direction, so this is where, how do I delete this darn thing? Oh, there's the C. I'm so used to my Apple iPhone where the C's are right up here. Okay, anyhow, so $500 divided by 4109. So this means that we are looking at potentially making 12.2%, okay? 12.2% if everything works in our favor. So these are the numbers if we would trade the stock and we would trade 100 shares. Now let's take a look at the option, because instead of trading the stock and buying the stock, we can click on the options tab and we see there's two possible options. The first one is a strike price of 39, which is an in the money option, and another one is at 41, which is an at the money option. So let's compare these two options here. So first of all, if we talk about the CYU option, okay, so if we go for the, let's do this, in the money option, so this is the conservative. Oops, where did that go? Here we go. Okay, let's bring this up. So the conservative option, we could buy this option, or we are planning to buy it at $3.18. This is our entry price. So we try to buy it at this price or better. Okay, so let's see. And if you buy one option, they always come in 100 packs, right? So one option would at $3.18 would mean that we would have to bring $318 to the table. Make sense? All right, cool. Now the next thing, let's take a look at our stop loss. Our stop loss, we assume that the option is worth, when we are getting stopped out, still $2.09. Let me just do something really quick here on the other screen. All right, good. We got taken care of this. All right, so this means that here, let me move this over a little bit, we are trying to risk $109. So our stop loss, the risk that we are trying to do is $1.09. And again, based on 100, one option that it comes in 100 pack, we would risk $109. Now, very, very similar risk, as you can see, to our stock if you would buy this. Let's take a look at the profit target. So we assume that once we hit the profit target, our option should be worth $7.18. So $7.18 at target. This means that our potential reward here is $4. So that's what we're looking for, $4. Now, right here, based on 100, a 100 pack, it means $400. So you see that here, the risk and reward is very, very similar, okay? So, however, based on the entry price, and this is where the fun parts begin. So if we now take this $109 and we only had to bring $318 to the table, means that based on the capital that we brought to the table, we still have here a possibility to make 34%, 34.27%. Okay, now the profit target, $400. There we go. So $400 based on the $319 that we have to bring to the table means it is 125%, 125.79. So this is the main difference between trading stocks and options. I want to show you one more example though, because CYOU, if you would buy the at the money option, the medium aggressive one, okay, so at, which is medium aggressive, option. Okay, so here we would buy one option at $2.04 or better. This is our entry price here. Okay, so this means that we would bring $204 to the table. Our stop loss. If we are getting stopped out, it will be probably still worth $1.13, so meaning our risk is 91 cents. Okay, so our risk is 91 cents, 0.91, meaning it's $91. And our profit target here is our reward, $1.72. Okay, and again, since they come in 100 packs, it's $172. So let's see, how much is this in percent? Let's bring up our calculator again. And 91 divided by 204, it's 44.6%. Okay, this is how much we're risking. And this year, 172 divided by 204, so this would be 84%. Now, when you look at these numbers, 84.31, right, whatever, it doesn't really matter. So this is why, as you can see, I personally prefer to trade the in-the-money option, because the in-the-money option usually mirrors the risk and reward of the stock in the best way. The huge advantage here is, instead of bringing $4,109 to the table, you only have to bring $318 to the table. Okay, you're having a very similar stop loss, you're having a very similar profit target, but in terms of percentages, it is much, much higher, since you need to invest less capital here. Is this making sense? So this is let me see. Somebody said I did the aggressive, the wrong profit target. You're right. It's 3.31. Okay. Thank you for pointing it out. Really appreciate it. So it's 3.31. You are right. You are good. Okay. So let's do this. 3.31 divided by 204. So it's 162%. There we go. Much better. 162.25%. Okay, so as you can see, trading options, in my opinion, is perfect for small accounts, because in terms of absolute dollars, you're very similar to trading the stock. However, you have to bring much less money to the table. You see, if you only have a $5,000 account, on a $5,000 account, if you would trade 100 of these shares, right, you're pretty much maxed out. I mean, there's nothing else that you could do here. That would be pretty much it. So that is why on a small account, it makes sense to trade the option. Very similar reward, very similar risk. There's a risk, here's the reward, right? And also here, you see, yes, you're risking $91 trying to make $331. So this is why I believe, if you have a small account that you want to grow, trade options. If you have a larger account, and by larger account, I mean $50,000 and above, you can trade stocks here. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. That is the main difference between stocks and options. Now, let me see. I know that Thomas had the question, and yesterday there was somebody else. Okay, so Thomas, does this answer your question? Does this answer your question? Just want to make sure that we have it covered of what means stocks versus options. All right, fantastic. Now, there's a few questions that I want to answer here right now. Okay, so Jack says, on a $5,000 account, there are day trading limits. You are absolutely right, Jack. We are not day trading when we use PowerX Analyzer. You see, our average trade length, we expect to be in this trade for 13 days. Therefore, Jack, we are not day trading. This is one of the huge advantages when using the PowerX strategy on stocks or options. It doesn't matter, right? You're not day trading, and therefore you can trade it with a rather small account. Now, Stanley is asking, doesn't the analyzer say to buy 88 shares? Yes, that is based on your risk preferences, whatever you set in your risk preferences. However, if you want to compare stocks and options, you always need to do this with 100 shares, because one option means that you're controlling 100 shares. With one option, you cannot control 88 shares. It is impossible. So this is why, Stanley, great question. If based on your risk settings, it says 88, you would do that, right? But in order to compare it, what I wanted to do this morning to answer the question, what is better, trading stocks or options? We wanted to make sure that we are comparing apples to apples here, okay? So now Francisco is asking an excellent question, which is on a $5,000 account, how many options would you trade? Okay, so let's answer that question because I think it is fantastic. Thanks for asking this question, okay? How many options to trade on a $5,000 account? Okay, first of all, always follow the 2% rule. And what does the 2% rule say? It means never risk more than 2% on of your account on any given trade. How much is 2% of $5,000? How much is 2% of $5,000? Exactly, $100 per trade. So now you see, Francisco, the stop loss for this option is $109. If you should never risk more than $100 per trade, roughly, how many options can you trade? One. Exactly, one. Now let's say you're choosing the medium aggressive one where you risk $91. How many options can you trade? Still one. Absolutely. You got it. You got it. Okay, Francisco, is this answering your question? Okay, good, cool. Making sure. All right. So let's see. If you have a large account, trading options has a much bigger ROI. That is true. Absolutely. With options, you have leverage. Now, keep in mind, leverage is a double-edged sword. It can work for you as well as against you. So yes, based on this, you could double your amount and some more. You could make 125%, but you could also lose 34%, right? When you have a larger account, you would rather lose 2.75% and make 12.5%. If you have a $500,000 account, believe me, if you're making 12.2% on a $500,000 account, you are pretty happy. You are a very happy camper. So this is why I recommend that you trade options while you're growing your account. Once you have a larger account of 250,000, 500,000 or more, I would go back to trading stocks. Does this make sense? All right, fantastic. Cool. So this concludes today's session. And let me just go back and see if you had any other questions here. And you see, this is how, okay, so this is how we are doing then. We will vote for what we will do next. So please go to rockwelltrading.com/askmarkus to ask your questions. So Thomas, we answered this question. So I'm going to archive this. And since there's 3 votes right now on this question, I'm new to trading. What's the best way to get started? Unless we see something different, we're going to talk about that tomorrow. So please do not use this as the support chat. This is to ask your questions that you want answered here live in Coffee with Markus, because that's why we are doing it here. That's why I'm here with you, to answer your questions live, to help you in your trading, to give you tips and tricks to take your trading to the next level and to help you to become the trader you want to be. All right. Fantastic. So I wish you a wonderful, terrific day. Make lots of money, and make sure that you keep post your questions here at rockwelltrading.com/askmarkus, and we will tackle them in the upcoming Coffee with Markus. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, and bye-bye.